Welcome into Three Questions with Ivan Mazel, where Ivan brings his insight on all things college football to us here on the On3 YouTube channel on a weekly basis. Ivan, a big one in Atlanta. LSU and Georgia set to get it going. What is your thought process around LSU's chances in this game to eventually upset Georgia with them having a college football playoff berth locked up? What kind of chance do you give the Tigers this Saturday?
Well, I've updated my thinking since last Saturday. I'll tell you that. I mean, how do you compute what happened in College Station? I guess it's a young team not used to success, and their focus got away from them. You have to believe LSU will be focused, Saturday at the Georgia Dome, but Georgia's really good. I mean, and they've been there before. Their eyes will not be wide. I think Georgia's going to win. I think they're the better team going in, and I think because they have the experience of those big moments. I mean, you only have to look back a few days to see that LSU has trouble handling being in this sort of position. So I like Georgia.
And it's one of those things, too, that Brian Kelly talked about it a little bit post-game with the A&M loss, and he's like, it doesn't disvalidate anything that we've done in 2022. Like, we've taken a lot of really solid steps, and I think he's on the money. Like, LSU a season ago had a lot of guys internally, whether it was public or not, kind of waving the white flag, and I don't see any of that from this team, even with the loss to Texas A&M. But shifting the focus back to Georgia, the conversation every time Georgia has a big game is, okay, well, can you make Stetson Bennett beat you? Is it time we give Stetson Bennett a little bit more respect, especially in this matchup?
I don't know why anybody would want to make Stetson Bennett beat him, because he can do it. He's a man. I mean, he's a 25-year-old guy playing college football, and you can see how sharply and quickly he thinks. And he's he's got a good arm. He's mobile. He knows how to make room for himself in the pocket. He can take off. He's a good college quarterback. And, I think anybody that is going to doubt him now, I mean, you just have to wonder if they've seen Georgia play.
I think some of it's probably the optics. Like, he's a walk-on. He's not lighting up the stat sheet. I mean, he's surrounded by a bunch of five-star talent. Like, he doesn't necessarily fit the mold that you would expect for the number one ranked team in the country. But just like you said, week in and week out, Stetson Bennett just kind of shows up, ho-hum, and just absolutely balls out. So I'm excited to see what he does in the playoff eventual game they get to, but in this game for sure. And that kind of gets me to my next question for you. With Georgia, I think 99% being in, even if they lose this game, is there any thought behind, okay, well, does Georgia show up any kind of unfocused for the SEC title?
JD, if there's anybody in that locker room that's unfocused, I think all they have to do is go back to this weekend a year ago. They sort of strutted in to Atlanta, and Alabama handed them their hat. So I'm sure that's been a theme this week within the locker room, within the meeting rooms. Whatever Kirby Smart says, and Kirby comes from the Nick Saban school of do your job, focus on what's in front of you, and I can't believe they would make the same mistake 2 years in a row.
Especially not to this kind of team, and not to knock LSU, but Nick Saban and Alabama had the Heisman Trophy winner in Bryce Young. They had a lot more things developed and built out, whereas this LSU team, as good as they are, is still kind of finding their footing in year one. So should be a lot of fun, but no, I agree with you. With Kirby Smart steering the ship for the second year now getting to this game, I don't think there will be any lack of focus when they get to Atlanta. Ivan, where are we headed this weekend? We hitting the road for any conference championship games?
Yeah, I'll be in Arlington for the TCU K-State game, and of course we're all wondering, not only can TCU beat K-State twice in one season, but do they get in if they don't? So that it'll be nice to. It's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it.
with history being our teacher, if Ivan Maisel is there is a more than likely chance it'll come down to the final play, last 10 seconds, all that. So make sure you're locked in for the Big 12 title game and keep an eye for Ivan on your television screen. Well, Ivan, appreciate you joining us, dropping some insight on us. If you have not yet followed Ivan on Twitter or subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel, would emphatically encourage you to do so. Ivan, thanks so much, man. Safe travels.
Thanks, JD.
Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.